But here comes the U.S. He's like, hey, leave our British allies alone. And oh my God, he's like, eat some fire. Tea time. All right, what's up, guys? It's Apollo here. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome back to the European battlefield. We're playing Company of Heroes 2, and we got ourselves a juicy battle, all right? Get ready for some juice. I don't know why that reminded me of Blank Check. Have you guys ever seen Blank Check? It's like juice. Your juice. Anyways. What are we doing? Company of Heroes 4v4, 8 players on the battlefield. We're gonna have a gruesome fight, as obviously the victory points are dead in the center, one on the left, one center, one right. So yeah, and let's go ahead and look at the factions here in detail. So we have the Allies taking on the Axis. The Allies includes the UK, or the British. We have the Americans, represented by the yellow player. And then we have the 2 Soviets. So those are all the Allied factions. Over on the other side, we have 1 Western German, and the rest are Eastern German factions. So there you have it. And the Germans, speaking of the Germans, blitzkrieging their way across the battlefield. They are taking a standard territory point, so good on them. Over on the other side, the British are moving up and taking their very own capture point, a fuel point. So now they're going to shift over. It looks like, let's see, what do we got here? Squad of riflemen against an MG. I think they were thinking about going for that point, but instead they're going to kind of sit back and reserve, and the Germans are now pushing up an MG squad over to capture this victory point. So the Germans should be the ones to start ticking away at the enemy points, because the other victory points are not being captured. I do hear some fighting, though. Oh, yeah. We've got the Soviet Union, represented by the blue color here, pushing up and getting the capture point actually next to the victory point. But here comes a flanking maneuver by the Germans. Look at these lads. Got some engineers, don't care. Look at it, it's like they could whisper in the Soviets' ear, they're that close. There we go. They're going to go and just get the heck out of Dodge, as that is a losing fight. The Soviets had a nice crossfire there. They've got an MG set up here by this rubble. So, yeah, that was a really good defense. And the center was actually just captured by the Germans. Now, the U.S. is actually pushing up some riflemen and trying to overwhelm the German flank. We also have a support unit back here as well. Oh, the Germans... Look at this. They've got MG. They have an MG crew in the house, which is going to make that flank impossible, as the Americans take some heavy losses there. Over here on the other side, we also have a lot of troops moving around, but still nothing yet. We do have a bit of an MG battle, German MG versus Soviet. The Soviets now are going to flank them, so they've got a little hammer and anvil tactic here by the Soviets, and the Germans are going to call it quits. And there we go. The Allies strike here very effectively, and they're going to be able to take this victory point. So, in the last couple Company of Hero videos, you guys have mentioned that I need to zoom out more, which I totally get. I think I like to zoom in and get some, you know, some juicy close-ups, and just, like, I mean, like, look at this. Oh, and he's still flapping around. Look at him. Oh, they're scissoring. They're scissoring. What is happening? Oh my God. I've never seen this before. They're still going. This is why it's... Oh my God. And they finally and the Germans are somewhat terrified, as it was some sort of death position. Soviet mortars, I think, are opening fire. Softening the German advance. See, where's... Yeah, we got the Soviets with their mortar trying to protect this position. Oh, that was so funny. In the center, the Germans still have it under control, but the Allies now control the flanks of the victory points. So they have left and right victory point. Now we have another push here by Germans trying to take out the mortar crew, and they're even going after an MG crew as well. Multiple MGs. The Germans have penetrated through the Allies' defenses over on this side, and they're actually going to start capturing this territory point. And the Allies are going to have to regroup here. The Soviets mostly need to regroup. Back over on this side, we actually have another push here by the Soviets trying to counterflank. But they kind of have themselves in a tricky situation. They did cause the German MG to fall back, though, so there's that, making this point a little less heavily defended. The Allies have also pushed up over on this side as well. So not only do they have the victory point, but they actually have a standard victory point over on the German side. But the Germans are going to quickly take that back, and they're now moving up some light armor as well. So we're starting to see some vehicles enter the battlefield. So that's going to be juicy. I always love it when, so I love the stages of Company of Heroes. Like, I love the early infantry fighting and like the flanking and the MGs coming in and whatnot. And then you start to see the vehicles slowly enter the battle. It's just a really cool progression, I guess, of seeing these different weapons come into the field. And it gets, at the end, it gets crazy. They were able to destroy that light vehicle. I'm not sure what the Germans were trying to do there. I think they were trying to destroy this MG crew, but at what cost? It was kind of a waste of a unit, and they find themselves surrounded and destroyed. Let's go back over to the bases here and see what they're building. Looks like we're gonna start seeing, let's see, battalion command, regimental field. Pretty soon, we'll see a lot of vehicles. And, the good thing about the Allies is that it's a wide mix of different factions. You have Americans, you have British, you have Soviets. So you're going to be able to bring all kinds of different kinds. You get what I'm saying. They're going to bring all types of different weapons and strengths and weaknesses to support each other. You know what I mean? So the Germans, on the other hand, most of them, they're just three Eastern and one Western. So they got to try to focus, on those deadly tanks. But they're going to try to little flank and maneuver and some point-blank anti-tank firing there. And they're also pushing on the other side, but it doesn't look good for the Germans as they are getting pretty much wiped out. But they did do some damage to the Allies. So at this point, the Germans are winning. They now control 2 of the victory points, so they got this one back. The Allies still controlling the left one. And they are getting super aggressive, which I think might be costly for them, because if they throw these units away, it's going to leave this victory point open to being captured, which is certainly what is happening here. We've got like a flamethrower half-track that is killing them. Yeah, definitely fire is great for... Oh!
We have lost an MG team.
Wow. MG team just... destroyed there. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, look at this. The armored car. It's the AEC-MK. Yeah, definitely don't know my World War II vehicles, but I hope to learn. But yeah, this is adorable. Just coming in, wrecking some infantry. So that's going to make it possible for the Allies to capture the center, and that's going to give them the lead in victory points, but not in points overall, as the Germans still have a solid lead of 469 giggity against 431. Ooh, the flames! The Germans coming around and cleaning up the Soviet infantry that's trying to capture this point. I haven't noticed a lot of Americans. Well, okay, there's the American forces falling back full health. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but he gave the retreat order. He must have saw something over on the enemy side that made him a little nervous. Now we're getting some light tanks. We got the T-70 light tank from the Soviet Union. But here comes the Panzer II, which they are exchanging some words right now. Oh! Yeah, this is definitely a favorable situation for the Panzer II. I think they got infantry support. They got anti-tank supporting them. Now the Panzer II is just kind of like saying, hey, what's up? What's up, Soviet infantry? Eat some fascist lead, you commies. I don't know. Would he be saying that? Am I going to get demonetized for that? So yeah, they're gonna they're gonna fall back, and which is smart. You don't want to lose your vehicles, especially the Germans. The Germans, the vehicles are pretty expensive. I mean, the Panzer IIs are not super expensive, but you always want to keep your units intact, because if they gain, you know, level up points, it's always good. Always good. Makes them stronger as a unit. The British are really starting to gather up quite the force in the center. We might see them push. The German lines are actually pretty light. If we turn on the fog of war and get the Allied perspective, I guess it's kind of hard to tell what's over there. But yeah, the British are making a push now. It's really... Oh, wait. Here's a flanking by... What are these? Grenadiers. Yeah, the flanking maneuver. But here comes the U.S. He's like, hey, leave our British allies alone. And oh my God, he's like, eat some fire. Tea time. So they're gonna go ahead and push the German flank back, and the Americans were dropping some capitalist lead. There we go. We gotta balance this out. Capitalist lead. I guess the British they've got some tea lead that they're dropping on the enemy. All right, so there we go. They have a really strong force. Allies have a really strong force in the center. I wouldn't be surprised if they push for the center position. I mean, they control it right now, which is good on them. And the great thing about controlling the point is it gives you the opportunity to kind of sit behind it and be defensive, and it makes the Germans have to go onto the attack. So over on this side, oh, we got some air going over. I'm not sure what's happening, but the Germans still control this 1 point, but I don't think the Allies really care. I mean, really, look at, there's like nothing. There's nothing over on this flank. And they need to be careful because there are some German units mobilizing over here, which they could easily take all 3 of these points in a couple minutes. If they just spread out and take them all, they'll be able to take a huge chunk of the battlefield here. And that's, I mean, that's the luxury of not having fog of war and watching these replays, is that you can easily see when there's openings in the, you know, in the defenses. Obviously, you can't do that as a player. It's sometimes you got to do a little scouting. Sometimes you take a risk and you push troops where you think it's weak. But yeah, the Germans, if they can find it, they have an opportunity over on this front here. Let's go ahead and change the camera angle here and see what the Germans are seeing right now. And the Germans are building up some infantry. They've got some grenadiers. They've got an MG behind a truck. And they're going up to the sandbags. Now, this has been neutralized, so the Germans are kind of throwing their infantry at it at great cost. Ooh! Artillery coming down from the Allies. We've got some U.S. anti-tank, but look at this! German tank going behind the lines, instantly focusing down the anti-tank. We've got the Panzer II rolling up. And they take out the anti-tank. And there's, oh, they're taking out, what is that, the mortar? There's a truck over here. Oh, it's the light. Oh, they're going in. This is getting spicy. All right, let me turn on the HUD so we can see what's going on. Yeah, and the German infantry are also pushing as well into the back lines. This might disrupt their defense. Let's see, what is... Okay, there we go. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and call the retreat, but they did a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the German tank was destroyed, but they took out an anti-tank from a U.S. anti-tank. We have U.S. infantry pushing forward, coming in to support, where that tank just, you know, came in and just complete destruction. Over here, finally, the Allies are shifting up some infantry to defend. Looks like the Germans did go for this little capture point, but yeah, the Soviets were ready to push up and defend this this area that I was saying that was pretty weak. Now it's not so weak. Germans still pretty content on just holding this with light forces. We got an MG We have 2 anti-tanks set up over here. More artillery coming down on the Allies as they are trying to get this center point back, which they do. And just looking at the points here, it's still very close, but the Allies do have the lead right now. Okay, so we have a few forces over here. Nothing too crazy. Most of the juicy fighting is over in the center. And the US is really like, they're really building up quite the force here. I haven't really seen too much from the US, other than at the very beginning of this game and a little bit recently. But I'm wondering if the US is gonna plan some big push. The Soviets over here, good thing they shifted over a lot of infantry, because the Germans are now shifting infantry over. It might be because they're capturing a point over here. But here comes the Germans. Oh! It's getting nasty. The Germans just don't have enough to take it. And we got another push over here by the Soviets. Look at this. They're pushing on the field, trying to rip through the German lines. Maybe they're going to try to get to that anti-tank and maybe go for a little tank push. Oh, the infantry is pinned. They're going to go ahead and call retreat. But then it's no, step back, and they get gunned down by their own. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so back over here. The Germans still holding on to this victory point. The Germans are building up quite the defensive force over at this point. I'm kind of curious why both armies are so focused over on this flag rather than the victory point. Like, wouldn't you think the victory point is more important? By the way, guys, the center has been captured. Look at this. Oh, it's getting juicy over here. The center has been captured by the Germans. And we've got all kinds of tanks here. We got a British tank, and then we've got a medium tank, the T-34 Soviet tank. Oh, the Panzer IV, baby. The Panzer IVs are starting to roll out of the assembly line. And look at this little guy. He's like, I'm going in. I may be small, but I'm vicious. Oh, and he almost takes out the Panzer. Man, this thing is ruthless. So, yeah, they've got a situation on their hands. They got U.S. infantry pushing. They have British armor supporting the U.S. infantry. Yeah, and they're focusing down the MGs in the house. The U.S. is going to call retreat, and that's all they really needed to do. They've captured that victory point right there. Actually, they have captured all 3 victory points, guys. All 3 victory points, and they're even pushing. Look at this. Look at this. Who do we got here? We got some Rangers. Some U.S. Rangers going in. And they might as well be like close combat fighting. But the Rangers are just cutting down the German forces. And now they're going to call retreat, which is very wise. Some of them won't make it back, though, as they are running by a half track right now.
Combat unit ready for action.
And there we go. They're going to go ahead and capture this point. So the Allies are doing fantastic here. They are controlling the battlefield right now. And you just got to wonder, what are the Germans going to do? What do they need to do? Maybe let the center victory point go. Wait, look at this plane. What do we got here? Is it dropping something? Oh, it gets shot down. Oh! And boom goes the dynamite. So that's awesome. So yeah, I would think that maybe, just maybe, you let the center go. Which, holy crap, I think that's what the plane was dropping there. Holy fire. Fire, fire. Look at that. It's kind of like you got this, like, angel surrounded by fire. It's actually pretty cool. Get a view of that. But the soldier here. The angel of death. Anyways, yeah, they've kind of put a little dent into the Allies. They might be able to capture this, this point right here. The Germans, that is. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I'm kind of surprised they're not pushing on the flanks where it's a little less defended, but we've got a pretty solid defense by the turquoise Soviet player. These tanks are kind of just dominating right now. We got 2 T-34s just rolling up and just pushing back the Germans.
The enemy has
The Germans have less than 300 points. Here we go, the Germans. They're starting to lose ground here as the T-34s are just like having a field day, just rolling around. Look at this, just like no big deal. The MG's like, I don't know, fire at the tank? Shoot at the tank, I guess? Oh, that armor back there is gonna get destroyed. Boom. Yeah, this tank is single-handedly destroying the German lines. It is going in right now. And yeah, I would call the retreat. The engine is damaged. You need to fall back. We got another German nest over here, MG nest. Dude, what are you shooting at? You're shooting at a tank. Like, what are you gonna do? But he is backing up, back into friendly lines. I'm surprised they didn't send in the other T-34. But I guess they didn't really have to. Over here, though, oh my goodness. T-34 got destroyed there by some anti-tank armor there. But yeah, now we've got another tank rolling up. This is the Sherman Firefly. Coming in to support. And oh, the fire comes down again. Look at this, the flames of war over on the German position now. And that's really pushed them back. It's kind of zoned them back. It kind of gives the Allies a few moments of kind of just being able to catch their breath here, and they're reinforcing. They might be even pushing. Let's see. I think they are. Wait, hold on. Do you see this on the mini-map? The 2 orange tanks? Oh my god. We got Panzer IVs behind enemy lines. Look at this. They're going for all the anti-tank. This was a sneaky maneuver. They are starting to take damage here. Ooh. They're taking lots of damage. Thankfully, the US had some troops with some bazooka Joes over there. And the Germans are gonna call retreat there. They're gonna back up. And the US infantry, knowing that their flank is secure, are gonna be able to keep pushing the Germans. Finally, we're seeing the Americans push up here. Better late than never, right? The American way. But yeah, they're gonna call retreat because they've done their job. They've completely pushed back the Germans. The Germans need to figure out a way to turn this around. We've got complete tank control on the Allied side. We've got infantry control on the Allied side. This is a good start with these panzers. They've taken back this victory point to try to slow the bleeding a little bit. We've got another panzer rolling up. They definitely want to send up some engineers to repair these guys. So that's 3 panzers ready to move up, ready to go. The Soviets are taking back their territory that the Germans have recently pushed and taken. There's the Soviets. Over in the center, the Germans are making a push back. Look at that. The Germans are down to less than 200 points. The Germans, they kind of have to get desperate here. They got to figure out a way to push back these Allies. It's getting pretty ruthless over here. It looks like we got artillery coming down potentially. The Germans are gonna, I think it's Allied artillery. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So they're gonna be like, yeah, no. We're gonna fall back. You can have the point for now. Back over here, things are pretty calm. We have some Allied tanks over here, some T-34s. I think they're going in for another push. Look at it, they're just harassing. Look, they're like, the Germans are like, oh no, another T-34. We got anti-tank though. Look at these helmets. Oh, they're medics. Let's see, the tank's like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Very smart. So the Germans adapted there. They have anti-tank infantry. They have anti-tank guns. So that's going to be able to really soften up this this push here by the Soviet Union. They can no longer rely on the T-34 alone. In the center, it's still been neutralized. The U.S. pushed up with some infantry. They're going to go ahead and call it quits and fall back. And then over on this side, we have Panzer IVs going behind enemy lines again. This is a classic maneuver by them. Oh, and they're going to get this artillery truck. Yes, that's a huge victory for the Germans. Sweeping death over here. Oh, lots of anti-tank though. And again, they're gonna call it quits. This is really good. The orange German player is doing an excellent job with these tanks. He's not pushing them too far, just enough to where they can get a lot of damage done. At the same time, they're gaining experience. They're gonna go back and heal up a little bit. So that's good use of those tanks, keeping them alive, keeping them going, and bringing some hope to the German side, as they are greatly behind in this battle, and they need to start getting aggressive, and they need to start controlling the battlefield. German tank trying to clear out this building. We got another T-34. More like T-thorn in the side of the Germans, am I right? But they're gonna fall back a little bit because the Soviets have some anti-tank over there, so you don't want to push your luck. All right, so let's check out what's going on over here. The Allies going for another push. They've actually taken this building. Look at that. Oh, the mortar though. The Allies have an MG in here, 3 stars. They got a lot of kills. The U.S. is gonna, again, not hold on to it because it would have been a suicide mission. And the Germans are going to counter push, but at the same time, here comes some T-34s rolling in. But, ooh, this is gonna be a little bit of a tank battle. Oh, yeah. We got a Panther trying to help out. This one's in trouble. Let's see if he can escape the fight. Oh, you got to be frustrated if you're the German players and you're watching that tank just slip out of the fight. So low on health. Oh, nice. Got a heavy tank here from the U.S. Look at this thing. German armor's like, oh crap, we're getting flanked, falling back. Yeah, the orange player is definitely doing a good job of like keeping his tanks alive, it seems. Sometimes when you're in a losing battle, you do get the urge of just like wanting to just like fight to the bitter end, but sometimes it's a good idea to just, you know, call it quits, fall back, regroup, counter push, and you know, basically keep your tanks alive for another day. All right, Germans pushing with some anti-tank. There's an MG in this house that's definitely getting some good flanking fire on them. Germans are going for a desperate capture here. They definitely need 2 victory points, and they are gonna get it. No, they ran off of the point right before they captured it. I don't know why, just like another second, they would have had it. I don't know if that was a mistake or if that was intentional. Ooh, nice German flank there with the infantry, destroying a tank. We got a counter push by some Soviets. They're gonna try to capture this territory point, but no, they're gonna call it quits. Over here, the Allies control the center point. The Axis control this point still. Very calm over here. If I was in this battle, I would like to be assigned over on this front because this front is nice and quiet. We are getting quite the tank force from the orange German player. I think we have 4 Panzer IVs. So that's going to be quite the deadly force once they are, you know, ordered to move into the fight. I'm gonna be pretty excited to see them roll in here. The U.S. pushing up some MGs, assault forces. They're going in. The Rangers. I think they're gonna go for the building again. Look at this push. So the Allies now have less than 400 points, still in a very big lead here against the Germans. Oh, we got a big push here. Potential big push in the center. Over on this side, I think we got a little push over here as well, as we have some Soviet engineers going to capture the victory point. Oh, the Germans now control all 3 of the points. Oh my God. Guys, I think I smell, you smell that? Yes, that's a comeback. Maybe, because they're starting to lose their points now. The Germans, come on, hold on to it. Oh. Yep. They hold on to it. Very good. They lost the center though. The Allies took the center, but that's okay. The Germans still control more victory points than the Allies, which is going to continue to chip away at their points. Now, 363. All right, now here's a push by the British forces as they're going against this German MG as they're trying to hold the center. You know, they're looking kind of light here. The U.S. has some armor here. They got the M36 Jackson tank destroyer and the M26 heavy tank. But I'm curious of like, oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, hold on. Did we miss something? I think either we missed a big barrage because Orange, it looks like they lost some of their tanks. They're now 2. What happened to the 2 other tanks? They got another one rolling up, Panzer IV. Yeah, Orange is definitely just pushing out those Panzer IVs, but I don't know what happened to the other 2. Another Panzer IV, but it's headed over to his allies. And the Allies are going for a push for this victory point. This is the Soviets, or no, that's the British. And artillery's gonna come raining down on them. Oh my God! Limbs flew everywhere. They're falling back. Soviets are now pushing in. Panzer IV shows up right on time. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Panzer IV just chilling over here.
Panzer forces have been reduced by 1.
Germans making a push to take this back. The Germans control the center, so the Germans still control 2 of the points. The center is really dying down. We're really starting to see this side over here. This would be the left flank of the Allies' perspective. Really starting to heat up a little bit. As both teams are concentrating their forces over on this flank. Let's see if the Germans can still maintain this though. I mean, it's been neutralized over here, which is good for the Germans because they control both of the other victory points. Oh, they're gonna destroy these tanks. What are they doing? Well, it's getting close. Oh, did they destroy it? No. It's gonna make it out alive. Oh, yeah, see, that was a losing battle for the Soviets. Not sure what they were trying to do here. We do have a little bit of fighting going on over in this little territory area, but the Germans are clearing up the Allies. They're gonna be able to take this back.
Prepare yourselves.
We have a Panzer IV rolling up as well. So things have kind of quieted down a little bit between the two sides. Ooh. Oh my God, things are getting juicy. Artillery is being dropped. A lot of British tanks over here. Huge, look at this. Huge Soviet Union infantry push. Oh my God, that tank is awesome. Oh, they're gonna take, yeah, they're controlling this center. Oh, the plane's going down. Holy crap. That was awesome. Things are getting wild. And they take it, they're not gonna stop. They're gonna keep pushing. No retreat. Okay, now they retreat. Which, I get it. The Germans, though, are pushing up some infantry. Let's see if all this defensive, like, tanks and infantry can protect the point. MG getting some good flanking fire. That's awesome. Awesome. Over here, look at this. Look at this. The U.S. has stationed 3 tanks over here. We have a Sherman. We got a heavy M26 heavy, and then we've got an M36 tank destroyer. So a little of everything. And I wonder if they're gonna make a blitzkrieg push, or maybe they're waiting for the Germans to think they're flanking, only to be outflanked by the American armor.
Here we go. Get ready to move.
Oh yeah, Panzer IV rolling in. The Germans are pushing on enemy lines. Oh no! This truck is caught out again. But it's gonna be able to escape. Never mind. Oh my God, the Soviet artillery getting caught out every time, it feels like. That's such a good artillery. Whoa. What was that? What was that? Like, it's like I got shell shocked there or something. But the Germans, they're having to fall back a little bit. They're pushing up some armor over here. Got a Panther rolling up. It's starting to get wild over in this side. U.S. trying to capture this. What happened to the... Oh, U.S. tanks. U.S. tanks are now rolling in. These are the 3 tanks that were far on the flank. They're going after the Germans. Oops, that's the wrong button. Sorry about that. But yeah, they're going after the Germans. Trying to go after the armor that's fallen back. Look at these tanks go, man. They're just destroying. But they got to be careful. There's a lot of anti-tank up there, so they're going to call it quits and fall back. Oh! But the Germans are giving the Americans the taste of their own medicine. They're chasing down their armor, but it looks like they're gonna let them go as this Panther is making victory laps around the trees and headed back to friendly lines. Artillery coming down, trying to soften up the infantry, which they do. God, that artillery is nasty. Nasty. Over here, things are getting a little spicy as well. We got a heavy tank taking on the Panther. We've got another tank over here. This is a tank destroyer. But he's sitting back in reserve. And the Soviets are doing a good job of keeping the Germans back. Now, the Allies control 2 of the victory points currently. And the points continue to tick away for the Germans. We've seen the Germans have moments of great strides of being able to capture these victory points. But let's see what the Germans can do here. They're taking back the center. The center has been so back and forth. Look at this. We got the lone Soviet MG trying to protect the point. He's like, my squad has died, but I will fight on for them. Oh, something's coming down. Oh, a little smoke screen because we got infantry pushing up. Look at that. That was cool. Infantry moving up. Let's see if they do anything with the smoke screen. The British are pushing, and they meet the German infantry dangerously close. The German armor rolling up here. Look at this camo. The Germans are pushing more armor, and they're pushing infantry as well. This might be the great German assault. Oh my god, shell-shocked again. It must be from this tank over here. Let's see if the Germans can push him back. Here comes Orange. He wants a piece of this action with the Panzer IVs. But the Soviet infantry mixed in with the US and British, they have so much that these tanks are on a suicide mission. In fact, I don't know if this tank is gonna make it out alive. Wow. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Body is burning on his, basically the tank crew are in giant metal coffins. We have some German air support coming in, trying to kill and they do kill the troops capturing the center. But the Germans, look at this, look at this. They are falling back to the safety of their artillery. Artillery coming down. Ooh, on that infantry, and just slaughters the infantry here. The Germans are pushing up some armor as well. They're gonna be able, oh, nice job. I'm not sure what this tank was thinking, but he ain't thinking anymore. Now we've got more British infantry pushing up. We have a lot of US tanks sitting in reserve, ready to move. Let's go ahead and get the German perspective here on this battlefield. They've got a sizable force on this flank. This would be their right flank. Over in the center, they really don't have much. And then over on the left, they have a couple forces here and there. They're actually making a move on the left. All it really is US infantry. No armor support, no any kind of support, no artillery or anything. But we got some US Rangers who are getting chewed up right now. And the Germans should be able to take this if they move now. They just need some infantry. US forces falling back. Oof. Another building collapse here. Nice, we got the Comet tank. Got a nice mortar position here from the British. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like the Allies are kind of controlling this one. I mean, the Germans, I don't know why they're not pushing up infantry right here. There's really nothing. Well, the US is now mobilizing their tank caravan. Less than 100 points. We are now starting the countdown, guys. If the Germans don't do something here quick, they're gonna lose this battle very soon. Especially now that they don't control any of the capture points. They're now finally going to try to capture this one. They got more infantry moving up to support this. So got some anti-tank because I think they know that the US is sending in their tanks here. I think they could beat the US tanks here. They've got plenty of armor. They've got plenty of anti-tank. This MG just has to hold. Let's see. Oh no, this pillar got in the way. Come on. Oh! Oh! The crew goes flying out of his tank. Yeah, whenever this thing shoots, it is like just supernova. Like, it's crazy. And sure enough, the Germans come out with a very important victory there, a much needed victory. And they're going to be able to capture this victory point. The good news is that the center is still neutral. The bad news is that the Allies have taken this one. 230 millimeter rockets. That's crazy. So they're repairing the tanks as quickly as possible. Let's see what happens here. The Germans are setting up some infantry. They know that they don't really have the time to just sit back and, you know, like they don't have the points to sacrifice so they can kind of build up troops. They kind of have to get aggressive here and start risking the lives of their men. And look at the British. They're throwing grenades over here. Boom! That's going to clean out this anti-tank crew. We got an MG set up over here from the Germans as well, as they're moving up. Here comes the British. Just holding this point. Oof. Trying to hold the point. Back over here, once again, the Germans still control this position. Over on the other side, things are getting juicy. The Germans are going to try to capture this. They do neutralize it. The Soviets have a pretty strong grip on this position. At the same time, you know, the Allies can't get, like, content. You know, they kind of need to get aggressive themselves. Yes, they have a solid lead, but they also don't want to be a bunch of pushovers. There we go. They finally tied up the victory point game. Let's see if anyone's going to push for this one. Two sides are just too afraid to do it, but orange... Look at this, the orange Germans are pushing up with infantry. And I think he's going for a big time capture here. It's gonna be risky. Mortar fire coming in. You might want to spread out the troops. Ooh. Oh, they're gonna call it quits. Wow. And the Soviet infantry, the two brave men here, continue to sit on this point, and let's see if they can be the heroes here and capture this position. They're just one little section away. Let's see. Yes! They capture it. Now the German side is going to start losing some points. Holy British tank caravan. Look at this. This guy's might just be. Ooh. Yeah, a little too far there, British. They lost the tank there. And also we have a Panzer tank rolling in to flank them. Ooh, purple Germans going in right now. Fighting over here is getting intense. Uh-oh. Ready? Oh my god, that guy's limbs. That's cool. Oof. Oh, the British are moving in again. Look at that. They are full on committing for the center. They are full on committing. They've taken back control of this victory point.
You now have a new Comet tank.
British are bringing in more tanks. Let's see if they might go for a sneaky maneuver over here and capture this point. I mean, all there is an MG and a Panzer IV. If you send like 2 tanks and an infantry unit, you should be able to take them out.
Proper thrashing. He's down to only 50 points. Enemy threatening a capture point.
50, less than 50 points, guys. We're 49 minutes into this battle. Got some medics taking care of the wounded. Come on, help this guy. Help this man. He's bleeding.
Point is being overrun.
Germans now rolling over with the Panzer IV over towards the center. These German tanks are going to have to pull off a miracle here because the Allies are really starting to build up quite the armored force. Oh, that Panzer IV might get caught out. Oh, yeah. The British are moving out. So they're gonna fall back a little bit because the Germans are starting to build a lot of anti-tank infantry.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one.
Engineers trying to repair the tanks, what little damage they have. Oh, we got a big showdown here. Big time showdown, look at this. Smoke screen or something comes down.
Ready to go.
Well, that's going on. The Germans have taken control of this victory point. The Soviets are not letting up, though. They haven't lost any ground. They've got a nice artillery truck over here. I'm sure the Soviets are going to go for a push. The Germans control all 3 of the victory points right now. There we go. That's what the Germans needed. But the British aren't having it. They're pushing up their tanks, but this might be a desperate situation. There's a lot of German armor right here. Oh my God, we have 2 big lines of armor about to go at it. Soviets now moving up to take back this point. They desperately need to do that to try to stop the bleeding. Lots of artillery fire coming down on the British position. Or smoke? What is it? Are they just dropping smoke on them? Or is that the British dropping smoke on themselves to try to conceal their numbers, maybe? See what the Germans do here. They're now peeling a unit, or 1 Panzer IV unit, over to support over here. The Germans continue to at least have this neutralized. Let's see if they can take it back, though. Oh, what's this? A push by the Soviets behind the lines. Soviets trying to rally up here. They're going to go for another push. They really want to capture this. They want this battle to come to a close. And here comes a big armored push. Oh my God. Oh, this is going to be nasty, guys. This is going to be nasty. Big time tank push. Oh my God, and there's so much of them. The Germans throwing whatever armor they have at the Allies. But it's just not enough. And with that overwhelming center tank force, they have controlled the center of the battlefield,
Tank has been destroyed.
and they should be able to capture this after cleaning up all that German armor. That's a huge loss for the Axis, as they are down to 31 points. They still are technically in the lead in terms of, not in the lead with points, but in the lead with victory point captures here. They have 1, but we do have some Soviets who are taking this one. Oh, you almost had it. Why? Why fall back? They're taking the center. They got to take it quickly. The armor, we got US armor trying to screen for the Soviets here. Trying to keep the Germans back. And there we go. They got it. GG, I got brainless monkeys. Oh. Just surrender. Wow. Wow, there's some shade going. I love that we can see the chat here. That's hilarious.
Your commandos are ready.
Oh, man. Just surrender, you suck. Wow. That's hilarious. All right. And I'm curious, I wonder if we will get a surrender because the battle replay time is almost over. And I think it's pretty obviously going to be a victory. You only blob. Oh, now they're throwing shade at each other. So yeah, there we go. The Allies have captured 2 of the victory points. Morale is an all-time low with the German forces as one of the commanders have called his own teammates brainless monkeys. Big, let me slow it down here. Big tank push here by the Allies.
The enemy have knocked out a comet tank.
They have even, oh yeah. This thing is surrounded. The elephant tank destroyer. See if they can quickly destroy it. Boom! Nice. So yeah, the Allies are just controlling this battlefield right now. Orange is moving up with some tanks.
I fear we are losing.
10 points left. And guys, I think it's quite clear that the Germans are not going to be able to take this one back. Just complete armor control by the Allies. And this is going to be the conclusion of this battle replay as the Allies still control 2 of the victory points. They did a good job really all throughout this battle, just controlling the battlefield. We're going to go ahead and quit this match and look at the end results. So this was a lot of fun. Again, I think it came down to just that tank dominance. We really saw that... we saw that early on and late in the game for the Allies. And it seems like the German players weren't able to play together as effectively as the Allies, which kind of led to their demise. But yeah, that was a great battle. That was really really fun to watch. It was really cool to see the British. We haven't seen the British in a while, so always cool to see their tanks. But yeah, here is the overview. Here's all the players and the damage and whatnot. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Cassius V, for sending in this battle replay. He was the British player. Did a good job there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this battle as much as I did. And I'll see you next time on the battlefield.